Hello there. What is going on, everyone? We are doing some painting today, and I wanted to share a little bit of the hobbying that I'm doing. I've got lots of edge runners from Cyberpunk 2077 Gangs of Night City here, and this has been a big project. There's as you can see, I've got tons of minis out here. They are primed. I've done some. I've got River Ward here, and I've got Johnny Silverhand here, who's wearing his little samurai jacket. Those are the only ones that are done. We've got two other characters that are kind of mostly done, but I still have. Well, they're not totally done because I got to do the bases. And so I was going to share some of my thought process for this with you guys. I'm doing this kind of thing where I'm using the cards. So I pulled out the Edge Runner cards, and I've sorted the Edge Runner cards by their types. Now, most of the Edge Runners are solos, so I've got all the solos here, and I was going to do the solos first. So I've already done River Ward and Johnny Silverhand, so as I do them, I'm putting them on the bottom of the deck. And I was working on these two, this guy Jeremiah Grayson and Lyle Thompson, which I think are... I don't know if they're actually like named characters in the game or if they're just like extra like background characters they did to fill it out. But you have different types. You also have like, techies and net runners and specialists and stuff, but they have different colors, right? So the techies are green, although there's only a handful of those, right? And then the net runners are blue, and then your specialists are like white, right? Or like this gray. So they're all going to be kind of slightly different. And so I was thinking, wouldn't it be kind of cool? Because one of the reasons I wanted to paint these guys is because they're all gray, and you'll pull a card. There's a lot of them if you have the Kickstarter version, and you pull out this thing, and there's so many. It's tough to like oh, okay, I just pulled Emmerich Bronson, the bouncer outside of Afterlife. So, like trying to find him, I'm like, okay, is he this guy? No, is he this guy? That's close, but I don't think that's him. And so you're doing a lot of that, and so at least I can figure out who's who, and I can paint them so at least they match that a little bit. But the other thing I want to do is I want to do something to give them orange if they're solos. And green if they're techies, blue if they're net runners, and maybe white if they're specialists, to further make it a little easier. So my thought is I can do something like that with the base. So if we look at the bases here, I don't know if you see how like the bases have like this tech pattern in there, and I thought that would be the perfect opportunity. So ideally, I can kind of base them in gray, and then I can like almost put like a wash in here of like real white, and then let that dry, and then kind of go over the white with orange. So this way it looks like they're gray, but they have like orange circuitry for solos, and then do green for techies and so on and so forth. So I think that's what I'm going to try and do. I also want to share something cool with you guys, because these are just the edge runners. These aren't the actual gangs. So I also redid the gangs, and I was looking for places to, because I want to put all, the problem is with all these expansions, you've got all these, gangs that, are in the core set. You got different gangs in different boxes. All the gangs have different bits of equipment. Like, for example, the motor pool expansion has like extra vehicle rims, different ones for each gang color. Every gang has their own complete set of tokens, colors, their hideouts, if applicable, and all kinds of extra little plasticky bits that go along with each gang. And I'm like, oh, okay, you're going to play. So I got to pull this from this box, this from this box, this from this box, this from this box, and this from this box. I'm going to put all of the different gang stuff in one container. And one thing I was looking at is these shipping crates. These are from Monster Fight Club. And they had sent these out to me. And I was like, wait a second, these will work out really well because I can put like my minis in there. And these guys I didn't fully paint these because again they're gang specific, so I want them to stay in their normal gang colors so they're easily recognizable on the board. But I did, paint the kind of did just a dry brushing and a wash, or a wash and then a dry brushing, right? And there's like basically there's 8 gangs, and each of these packs has 4 shipping containers, right? So I've got the yellows in there, which is I think the tiger claw. We've got the mocks in here. All right. So they have all that stuff. And so basically, you know, a shipping container can house a whole gang, which is super cool. And I love that terrain that doubles as, you know, gaming, or as like storage, which is cool. You don't need terrain in this game, but it is kind of cool that because that was something they made for Cyberpunk Red. And so I thought that was pretty cool. I wanted to share that with you guys. Maybe I'll do like a short or something else on that later, but fun stuff. So I'm going to focus on trying to see if I can get this basing technique done. I'm going to use a dark gray from Vallejo as my starter, and I want to put it on kind of thin because I want it to dry moderately quickly. So I'm going to use kind of an older brush, but not something that's too bad, a little bit thicker, so I can put this on thin. I'm not going to thin the paints because I'm almost going to test it on this guy first. I'm almost going to do it like from a dry brushing perspective. I'm not worried so much about the sides because theoretically these guys will have a ring on them, right? So I'm going to kind of go like this. Here. Now let's see if I can't zoom in a little better. Something kind of like this. All right. And I'll clean up the sides later. I'm not worried about the sides right now. So this is the idea. And I'm going to do this I'll do this for a couple. I'll do it for 4 of them. I don't see why not. I'm going to see if I can get a better camera angle. All right. But yeah, so let me know how you guys are doing today. I've seen a lot of traffic on the Cyberpunk videos lately, and so hopefully this game is doing well. I'm really hoping that Simon does more. I'm going to be doing my full review on the game soon. Obviously, I do like the game, but it is not perfect. But it'll be fun to kind of gather. Whoa, my camera's falling. Not supposed to happen. Right, there we go. But yeah, I've still got some different modules. What is going on with my camera right now? It's my stand is falling. All right, we're gonna fix this. I think I need to update some hardware. I need to update some of my hardware in here. That is a lot of Cyberpunk. Yes, it is. There's quite a bit here. The Kickstarter had a lot of game, but I think they need more. So this is something I'm going to talk about in another video, but I really want them to do like a round 2 between the Phantom Liberty and then the Netflix show Edge Runners. I think there's a lot of opportunity for another show. I think it would, or not another show, but another Kickstarter, another round of the Kickstarter. Yeah, Edge Runners would be really good. Phantom Liberty would be really good. There's some content from the game that would still work in here. I'd like an Edge Runners module. Like Edge Runners, the show itself, may only have like a handful of characters, but it could do a mode that uses all of these edge runners for a different mode of the game that like lets you run a whole gang of edge runners. Like I would like to see that. Like maybe you draft edge runners at the start of the game and you just run those as your gang. Maybe you can play that, compatible with everybody else. And because your characters are more are stronger, maybe there's setbacks, maybe there's drawbacks, maybe maybe you can't can't gain money anymore or something weird like that. Bumping thing. So that's my thought, is like something like that. Also, there's some things they didn't offer during the campaign that I feel like they could offer. One of those would be a playmat. One of those would be acrylic tokens. There's gangs that didn't make it in here. I feel like there should be. I heard Gungans. I saw that you retracted your message. I saw something about Gungans and now it's gone. What? Don't be shy. It's okay. It's okay. You could say it. But no. The thing I'm also really like, why can't you play as NCPD? Like, there's really no NCPD presence in the game, and that's a big part of the world, So yeah, like there's more organizations than that could have been represented that weren't, and I think we could do it. I think we could do maybe a little better. All right, so now I've got these done. I think I did these guys last, so they're drying. These guys are probably dry enough to try this. I'm going to experiment a little bit. How do I want to do it? Which brush? I'll try this one. All right, I'm using a very watered down off-white here, which I'll then try and go back in with. Yeah. I'm going over the top a little bit. And I'll probably have to go over with one more dry brush. This might end up being more complicated than I expected. This is just a test run, though. I think maybe for other ones, I do this first and then dry brush. Maybe I'm doing the order incorrectly. It's okay though. We're testing. It's just an experiment. Okay, so there's that. So that looks pretty cool. It's got potential. It's got potential. Oh, Douglas, yes. What game is this? Thanks to you, the McCoolerist. This is Cyberpunk 2077, Gangs of Night City, by Come On. This is a new board game that just is being delivered to Kickstarter backers. I don't know if the retail version is out yet. Haven't seen it yet, but yeah, we're painting some edge runners from the game right now, which are basically mercs that you can hire to help your gang try and gain street cred and do firefights and stuff like that. So we're working on the bases for these guys. This here is Johnny Silverhand. You might recognize him as Keanu Reeves from the game's initial marketing campaign, and a very prominent character in the game Cyberpunk 2077. He is arguably the most important character in the entire 2077 game. But maybe second most. I think V is probably the most important character. Especially if you played Phantom Liberty, you would realize how insignificant Johnny Silverhand was to at least that portion of the game. It was just like, oh, hey, I'm still here, don't forget. But yeah, not as important to that part. But still, a pretty important character. But I enjoy this game. I like the board game. I like the video game. I like the world. A lot of times when I'm out here painting, I will have some Cyberpunk, like the soundtrack, playing. So that's always a fun thing to do. Just listen, like kind of get engrossed into the world. I really like the soundtrack. And not just the game's like background sound, I have that, but I also have a lot of the songs by like Samurai and some of the radio station songs. Even now, I haven't bought the complete soundtrack, but I bought because there's like an enhanced version of the soundtrack. All right, there we go. So we've got these 4 done with the first coat. No, this is not Monster Fight Club's Cyberpunk. That was Cyberpunk Combat Zone, Cyberpunk Red Combat Zone, I believe. This one is Cyberpunk 2077. The distinction is that those are 2 different game systems based on, the Cyberpunk IP, but they're different. It's like Star Wars, the Clone Wars versus Star Wars, the sequel trilogy. Like there's a time difference. I believe Cyberpunk Red is in maybe the 2050s, and 2077 is obviously the much more recent than that. I think that's one of the main distinctions here. All right, so now we're putting this orange in, and let's see if I can get this to show up everywhere. That looks kind of cool. So once this is all dried too, then I can go back over and can try and dry brush a little more, another round of gray over the top. If I was doing the base separately, if these minis weren't on the base, I could then I could do this first, or I could do this a little bit more delicately and could then airbrush the orange over. Like I could just do the white in the cracks and then airbrush the orange over. Then you get like a little bit on the sides, and that kind of gives it a glowing effect. It's a little harder to do that same type of glowing effect when the mini's still on here, because I'd run the risk of getting it on the miniature. But I like this. I think that's doing what I was hoping it would do, because I want the painting for these minis to be functional as well as pretty. It's not just about pretty. I want it to be functional. I want to be able to look in my box and say, all right, well, he's a solo edge runner and he's got a black trench coat. Okay, boom. Then this guy's going to jump right out at me. And the card is going to tell me that. It's the solo edge runner, so he's going to be orange. And then I can see a little bit of the way he looks from there, so I can grab the right miniature. And that's really the name of the game. I don't paint all of my board game miniatures. I paint those either ones that I really like, or ones that I think there's a gameplay value added to paint them. And and the thing is, there are games that I really like that I don't paint. So I don't have to really like it to paint it. I wasn't going to paint these until we were digging through the box looking for edge runners and realized how difficult it was. And I'm like, okay, well, this passes the litmus test of I do love the game, or I love the IP. The gameplay seems good. I think it's good enough that it will not be like I play this twice and then I'm done with it. You know, it's going to be played multiple times. So I think I can invest the time into trying to make it prettier. All right. Okay. Okay. That's my overall thought for why I do some of these. I'll get to questions and stuff. Red is 2049. Okay. I was pretty close when I said 2050. Well, technically, I think I said the 2050s, so I'm claiming 2050 for that. That's how I do it. Oh man, this looks cool. This is working. This is a good method. Really thin down those paints. The only problem is they take longer to dry when you put a lot of water in there. So I can't turn around and re-dry brush this right away. I might not even be able to do the final step on this stream. We'll see. Because if I try to re-dry brush it and that stuff is still wet, it could catch the brush and then I get some gray in those cracks and then I have to start the whole thing all over again because I was impatient. Impatient. All right. That's good. So tell me what games have you guys been playing? What has been on your tabletop lately? I want to hear. Let me know. Clyde says, I haven't played the RPG or the PC game. You just like the minis and the setting. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, you don't need to have played. I'll say this: Cyberpunk is a good enough game. You don't need to have played the video game beforehand. But because it's got so many video game references, I think it's definitely a bonus if you have. And I think for somebody who is maybe not a big board gamer, maybe you're more of a miniature skirmish gamer or something like that. If you're a fan of the Cyberpunk game or the universe, and you recognize a lot of this stuff, that can be enough to pull you in too. If you were on the fence about it, you know. It's not the strongest board game I own or have played. It's not, my favorite board game of all time, but it's still, I've got more plays to do. There's a lot of modules to add. The gameplay, I've mostly kind of focused on playing the base game so far. The only stuff I've added is like I include all of the Kickstarter edge runners, but we're going to branch out soon. I'm going to try some more of the expansion content. I've done one module so far, one of the base stretch goal modules. Like a lot of the modules are very easy to add and don't really add too much complexity. I'm afraid of adding too many and that I might make it too complicated. But since the base game is a little undercomplicated, it's not oversimplified, but it's not, it's kind of on the simpler side. I feel like it might be safe, to try and do that. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I want to show you guys some new paint. This is a cool one. Let me find it. Okay. Since I can't do the dry brushing on top right now, I want to show you guys this. This is Green Stuff World's Max Darth, the Blackest Black. This is a black paint that is supposed to be like one of the darkest ever. And this one's really cool for edging. I'm gonna just, for crying out loud. Wow. Okay. Well, I got way more than I wanted. The whole top just popped off when I tried to squeeze it a little bit. I love squeeze bottles and I hate them. I love them and hate them. It's a love-hate relationship. I still hate the pots. But man, the squeeze bottles sometimes work really well and sometimes they are a nightmare. And in this particular case, I'm not happy. Not very happy with how that came out. But I always suggest doing the ring around the bases. Even though you're going to put a ring on here, it just makes the whole thing pop. makes, you know, definitely do that. Actually, this would have been a cool color to do over the top and do those lines, because then it would look like they were like standing in space with just lines underneath them. Because this is a very, very dark black. It's supposed to absorb like 99% of the light, so you don't see. It's very matte. You're not going to see like a reflection once it dries. Yeah, so it's a really, really deep dark black, which is kind of cool. While I'm doing this, the Coolerist has been playing Marvel Crisis Protocol, X-Men for the win. Marvel Crisis Protocol is my one of the favorite games I have that I don't make content for. It's like, well, it's weird, like having all of the games that I play, having to record battles and talk about them and stuff, and it's nice to sometimes have games that you just play for yourself. I don't know how many people can relate to that, because I don't know how many of you are also content creators or trying to blog all of your gameplays and stuff like that. But when you get into that, turning your hobby into something like a job, sometimes can take away from the hobby a little bit. That's why I don't usually do a lot of painting streams. I usually just paint and listen to a book or listen to music. Or I'm trying to learn Spanish now, and that's it's been interesting. So I'll listen to like a Spanish book on Audible while I'm painting, and trying to make that trying to make that my quiet time, where I'm doing some gaming related stuff that's just for me and not for anybody else. Let's see what we got. Clyde says he's been playing Stargrave and Pulp Alley lately. I haven't played either one of those. There's a lot of games I haven't played, and I'm trying to play more. Some of my friends do like board game meetups almost every week, and I'm trying to go to those more. It's tough having a family and having kids, and trying to get there we go. Trying to get the social life going. I haven't finished this guy. Just so you know, these guys aren't completely done. I got to paint his gun, and I will probably go back and maybe touch up Johnny a little bit. Johnny Silverhand. I'm gonna get let's change up the angle a little bit here, because we've got so many more edge runners to do. Like, there's a lot to do. We've got some work done, right? And again, I don't have to have them all done. Like, the thing is, I think it's really important to tell yourself that it's okay to play a game when the minis aren't all painted yet. I'm not a big fan of the glasses on Johnny. I think I'll go back with a magnifying glass and try to clean those up a little bit. But overall, he's okay. He's looking mostly good. It's definitely good enough. Again, my aim for these is for them to be identifiable. That's why I'm doing. If you're just joining, I'm doing solo edge runners in orange, or at least orange on the base. The solo edge runners, have orange text because they are solos. When I finish all the solos, I'll start working on the techies, and they will have green on the bases. But I'm painting the miniatures mostly with a gray base that also happens to have that color, and that's kind of how I'm doing that. As far as the gangs I'm storing in these Monster Fight Club shipping containers right now. I'm at least for now. I don't know if it'll be big enough to hold all of them, but I just did a dry brushing on these and a wash, just to bring out some of the detail. It didn't come out as well as I wanted. I tried something different because I didn't want to change the color too much. Normally I would like airbrush these guys red first, but there were so many reds. There was like a purple, then there was like the pink-ish red for the mocks and stuff. So I did them in, what did I do them in? I just did like a spray cone of matte varnish first. And then the matte varnish didn't go on super easy, so like my wash like didn't bead evenly, didn't cover super easy. I used like Nuln Oil. I got that Max Darth Black on my fingers. Yuck. But yeah, so this is kind of how the guys look. I decided to give all of the the techies like a silver. No, I'm sorry, the Netrunners like a silver highlight on the minis. All the techies a gold highlight on the minis. So in these guys, it was their shotgun. And then all of my solos, I give them a black highlight on the minis. So here's the solo for the for Maelstrom, and it's his axe. So in addition to having the a different mini and then also a different base, I wanted them mostly identifiable as still the color of the gang, but a little extra color in there to spice them up a little bit too. I did go all in with this campaign. I got everything. So yes, I do have. Like some people commented on my how to play video, like, oh, you didn't get the 3D hideouts and all that stuff. I absolutely do have the 3D hideouts, and I've painted them too. They'll be included when everything else gets done. So yeah, it's all there. Let me see if we're dry enough yet. I think we're dry enough that we can try doing the next step. I think we can. All right. So I'm going to get this one, I think. I'm going to do that one. I'm going to find the right brush here for this. Oh, this one looks good. All right. I want to try. This is like kind of a medium, kind of an older brush. I'm going to try and dry brush like that. All right. Yeah, I just want these orange lines to pop a little bit more. Oh, I'm gonna adjust my camera a little bit. All right. Here we go. I don't want my hand getting in the way. This is another thing. I don't have the static setup for a painting stream, so I've got to do a lot of adjustments. One of these days, I need to get out of the garage. I need an actual painting studio or a filming studio, because I have little setups all over the place to make it work. And I'd love to have like a dedicated space, but I have to share space with the kids and the dogs and everything else. So I kind of have to take the opportunities when I can get them. Okay, this is working. I'm being real careful with it. Just trying to get just those areas. Oh, that was a part I sort of missed a little bit. It don't have to be perfect. I think the idea of capturing the tech look and then the colors of the solo. I think it's still working. I think that works. Compare that to here. That looks cleaner. All right, we're gonna keep going like this. I'm gonna check some of your comments. Clyde is painting MCP. Colin asks, "Am I going to Adepticon this year?" I would love to. I need to work Adepticon if I'm going to go there, and I don't have anybody to work for yet, so I don't know if I'm going to Adepticon this year. I can't afford to just go out there on my own, sadly. So, but I'd love to go. And I'd love to teach games too. I actually prefer to work the con at least part of the time. I like to have a little bit of time to go out and just kind of experience the con. But I've got to be working it. So, maybe I have an opportunity. Who knows? Maybe Asmodee or WizKids or one of these companies will be like, hey, Crabbok, we want you to come teach games at our booth or something like that. I'm like, yeah, let's talk. So if you know somebody who's looking, especially if it's somebody who makes the games that I already cover, then that's even better because I probably already know the games. If not, though, I don't even have to know the game because I know I've done a lot of convention work and people will, they usually teach the games like the night before the con. They're like, all right, we're going to do an open teach. Come on down to our area and we will teach these games. And then you can teach them tomorrow. And that usually works. Play a game once, you got it. Play a game twice, you're ready to teach. That's kind of the way I look at it. That works for me, at least. Okay. So that's the basing. We got that tech down. I've got one more, and I think that's going to do it. This isn't going to be a super long stream today. Isn't going to be super long. Let's get some more of your questions. Kyle says, love to see you painting the edge runners. You think painting these will help improve the gameplay by being able to find them quicker? Yeah, absolutely. That's the reason. That is the reason. There's so many. Like, I don't need them all painted. But when you're trying to find them, it's... I don't want it to slow down gameplay. I want gameplay to be fast. I want setup and teardown to be fast. And that's why I'm doing this. The other problem that I haven't solved yet is how to put them all back in that organizer that they gave. They have a diagram of what goes where, but I've seen some people label write in silver ink or something like that. Like this is for Johnny and this is for Pan Am and this is for Judy and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's a cool idea. Let's go up a little more. Here we go. That is a cool idea. However, my silver pen is not fine enough because some of those, they don't give you very much space at all to write. So I'm like, I don't know how I would do that. All right, that looks pretty cool. It looks kind of like fiery lava kind of coming up from the circuitry, which is cool. And these will also really stand out amongst the other gang members and stuff like that. And I think that is the also another cool part of it. Because if a game, here we go, let's adjust here and get a wider shot. If a game can look really cool on the tabletop while you're playing, you'll have a better time. Everybody else involved will have a better time, but I still got my work cut out for me. Look at all of these. And then the vehicles too. The basilisk, man. Although he'll be easy, right? He's just like one color. Although I'll add a little detail to him, though. We'll do like gray, and we'll add some black parts, and maybe some lighter gray parts, and maybe a silver part here and there, maybe a little red flashing light and stuff like that. But that guy and this Arasaka Walker, or is this a Militech Walker? Arasaka and Militech both have. No, this is Arasaka. The tank is Militech. But yeah, they'll each have it. Yeah, and I think this guy's gun is basically the same gun as Johnny's. It's one of Reveltech or something like that. Gosh, it's weird. I played this game a lot when I know a lot of the names of the gun manufacturers and I guess anybody who plays a game well enough will start to know some of those. But yeah, I think that's what we'll cut off for today. Pretty cool stuff. Got a lot more work to do, and I'll post some more on social media when they get done. Pretty cool stuff, though. I'll talk to you guys later. And let's see. Oh, Lord Nova says, models look great. Nice paint job. Thank you, Lord Novus. McCullers, did you see the almost 3-foot tall dragon model for A Song of Ice and Fire Tactics? I did. That's impressive. It is really impressive. I've never played A Song of Ice and Fire, so I don't really know much about that game. But I'll say this: I definitely saw that giant that giant dragon. That's that is something. That's very impressive. Very, very impressive. I wish my airbrush is saying to me like, I want to paint that. Yeah, that would be really fun. It'd be really fun to work on. All right, guys, that is going to do it for today. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I'll talk to you later. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes. Always have a great day. And the spice must flow. Don't forget to always wash your socks.